It's all just a symptom of being human.
Stop doing break fix service. Welcome to another episode of MSP Kingdom. This is another one we're doing, and we've got some really good guests coming up just to start this off. But today we're talking about break fix, and Chad, that can mean a lot of things, right? I mean, just saying break fix can mean a lot of things. I mean, you could have a break fix queue.
Yes. We've had confusion.
Yeah. So when we say stop doing break fix, like we're going to explain what that means. But
Exactly.
And let's define it first. So what we mean basically is stop doing hourly work, trading your time for service or tasks. We do not mean projects.
Right.
You know, projects still are, hey, this is the product, and then this is the labor to do this project, and altogether there's a project cost. Although with projects, and we can do this as another episode, but even with projects, you can not trade time for money.
Yep.
But we'll leave that for another one. But so we're not talking about projects, but we are talking about when we say break fix, what we mean. And sometimes we'll say break fix shop.
Yep.
And of course, small to medium customers, SMB, that we take care of, like they don't necessarily understand the lingo or this and that, but they do know, per hour and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's something important when we say break fix and break fix shop, just to throw it out there.
Yeah.
Break fix shops exist and should continue to exist, and there's a place for them.
Yeah.
But this is MSP Kingdom.
Right.
We're talking to MSPs.
Yeah.
People who are or trying to want to be MSPs.
Yeah.
That's really
the business,
important.
yeah.
Because a pizza shop with a point of sale system
Yeah.
doesn't need an MSP.
Right.
Maybe somewhere out there, there's an MSP that takes care of 100 pizza shops. More power to you if that's your niche. But
Could always be.
right. But in every market, there are break fix shops.
Yeah.
And if you are a break fix shop and you want to be an MSP, the bigger you are as a break fix, the further away you are from being an MSP.
That's right. That's
so
right.
Really, it is two different things. And the blurring of the line, when we say break fix, that's what we're talking about. You want to be an MSP, but you're doing the hourly work.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. We would say focus on one or the other.
Yes.
You will become more proficient, more efficient. You'll be way better if you'll focus on being one or the other. Mm-hmm. So the other thing too is we know how hard it is out there to get started. As an MSP, IT service, you're trying to do everything you can. You need every dollar as you start out. Yep. But we would say, really understand your business strategy, what you want to do, all that kind of stuff. Because we know firsthand how hard it is. But we drew a very good line in the sand from day one and never wavered. And what we can say is that was a big deal. We saw huge success and benefit from that. So what we're trying to say is we've seen what comes. We've seen the fruit that gets born of that tree.
Right.
Like how great it is. We know how great it is when you can just do it that way. And we just, even if we had customers that or potential customers, and they just kept back and forth. No, we really want per hour, back and forth. And eventually we would just keep talking to them, and we'd eventually just say, well, I'm sorry, it's just not our service. It's just not what we provide.
Not what
or we would get to the place of what value, what would you pay? Like, what's the value for you if we just do it this way? And a lot of them would then adjust, and we would agree on an amount and kind of go from there. And they stayed customers forever and that kind of stuff. But it's very much in our minds different businesses.
Very different. And that's the part that gets, I really think it gets missed. I've never encountered a place that successfully did both.
Same.
Tons of places that do both, and they're always trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
When we got going and we started building our business, I remember those times where we just had just a couple customers, right? Mm-hmm. You're desperate to get new customers.
Yeah.
And so it's so tempting, right, to say, I remember we had this startup bar. We're like, I don't know,
Yep.
Typically MSP work doesn't go great for restaurants
Yep.
and things like that. But you know what? We talk and they said, we'll do it. We'll do the MSP thing. Mm-hmm. But then immediately we found out that's not really what they wanted.
Right.
They wanted break fix.
Right.
And it didn't work. It didn't work out.
Nope.
So not only do you not want to do break fix for break fix sake, it's not going to work. It's not going to work well.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be an MSP and the companies that you're supporting should be on break fix,
yeah,
they're not going to like your service. And vice versa. If you're doing break fix for companies that really should have managed services,
right,
they're also not going to like your services.
That's a very, very good point.
That's why they don't mix.
And I think as well, like really determine what you want to do when you're starting a business. So, do you want to, be an MSP or IT service, or do you want to just be a break fix shop? Like, really determine that, because here's the thing. And I was having this discussion the other day with Kevin Clune. He's awesome a person in our industry, and so, but I think it's even going to get more intense. What I'm about to talk about, it's going to get more intense because of security and cybersecurity and all this stuff. So, what do you want to be? So what we wanted to be was a organizations, small SMB, all that kind of stuff, but also we've done nonprofit and other stuff. So we wanted to be an organization's IT solution from A to Z.
Exactly.
We didn't want them to have to go to anyone else. Also, we didn't want them doing anything. We wanted to,
very important.
Yes. We didn't want them managing. I say we only have them for 3 hours this month.
Yep.
That kind of stuff. We wanted to be
block hours
the
is
solution.
break fix.
Yeah.
Let's throw that out there.
Yeah.
Block of hours, that's break fix.
Block hours is absolutely break fix.
Same problems.
Same problems. Also, we'd seen the problems with block hours and break fix and all that stuff. And there's friction there.
Oh, yeah.
There's friction. Also, too, we wanted to provide this solution that really covered, was very proactive, all this other kind of stuff. Now you're able to charge more dollars. You can make more money, a lot more money, by being an MSP and having a solution that's not break fix. You'll do way better, and we know that.
Oh yeah,
we've seen it, lived it. So, but in talking about security, it's like the mentality of you owning an IT environment. That's where it really comes down to for me.
Yes.
We wanted to build a brand. We wanted to build a company, a name of people in whatever market we were in, knowing that like we're the go-to for, your IT solution. And a part of that is security, and it's becoming a bigger and bigger part. So I just don't understand, if you're block hours or break fix, how do you really take ownership of a company's security and cybersecurity? You can't.
It's a really good point, because one of the things that comes up, I see so many MSPs talking about certain challenges. Hey, my customer really needs this, but they don't want to do it. Hey, I really hate supporting this. All these things.
Yeah.
We did not have those challenges.
Right.
Largely because we took ownership of the environment. That was a huge part of our value proposition.
And it built trust.
It built trust, and the customer stopped having to make micromanaging decisions.
Right.
And, you go to the customer and say, hey, you need this new firewall. And if there's a bunch of pushback, I remember when we said, okay, well, you know what? We're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
You know why we're going to pay for it? Because you guys are crazy. We know what we're doing.
Yep.
And like, whoa, what it's that important? And then, okay, well, no, we'll buy it if it's that important.
Yeah.
And then we put the firewall in, and we never have to have that conversation of, man, we can't support this firewall.
Right.
Well, all that adds up over time. You own the environment. The customer doesn't have to nickel and dime. You're not nickel and diming, and they're not making the decisions.
Yeah.
They defer it to you, and over time, you are more and more profitable.
Yeah.
One thing I never understood, and it's a real thing, and everybody just kind of glosses over it.
Yeah.
If your business model is break fix, if you tell the customer, we just want your environment to work really well, but that's our goal. Whether you're honest or not about it, you're kind of lying, because if their environment never has another problem, you'll never make another.
You never make another dime,
right? When you're full managed services, it's the exact opposite. Everybody wants the same thing. Everything to run smoothly.
Yeah, I think that's a big problem. And I think it's a big problem in our industry. I think vendors, for whatever reason, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because it helps them sell their product, or I don't know why. Yeah. But that discussion in our industry needs to be more intellectual. It needs to be more thought out. Like, we are not like, if you hire an attorney, they're charging per hour because of these things. Like the work that we do as IT professionals is completely different than doing some legal work or building a concrete wall or a lot of this other stuff where you can trade time for money. What we do is very different than any of that, because it involves what I like to say, the gray. Like IT service, and IT is never black and white. It's very gray. It's very gray because every company out there's infrastructure can be different. Products are different. You have an ever evolving and changing threats that are coming in.
Yep.
Like it's this big deal, big thing of what you're trying to do as an IT professional, and you want me to do that for 4 hours a month?
Right.
Like, again, you're building a wall. Yeah, I'll build you a wall. It's going to take me 15 hours to build this block wall for you. So I'm going to charge you $50 an hour. You pay me. I'm done with the block wall. That's not IT.
No, not at all.
IT never ends. IT service never ends. And along the way, you're uncovering and discovering, and you've got different users that come into the environment. It's this super complicated thing that never should be traded, time for dollars, any of that. And there's skills that need to be put into that discussion. There's efficiencies and all this kind of stuff. I think it's such a disservice to this amazing industry we're part of, and what it provides to customers, the mass importance to customers, and we're going to trade time for money. It's silly.
I think you're totally right. Times do change, right? And break fix, one of the reasons it exists is back in the day, a person bought a computer, and then they needed help on the computer. And their IT systems were a computer. Right?
Yeah, right.
And then it's a couple of computers, and now it's a printer. And break fix was a natural extension of appliance repair guy who come out and fix the thing.
Yeah.
Well, internet started the same way.
Yeah.
I remember that I got so many minutes with my dial-up internet, right? When I was a teenager, convinced my parents, like, we're going to finally get internet. And we got the dial-up in, and we paid per minute.
Yeah.
We had a block of minutes. And then later, you got more before you had to pay extra.
Yeah.
And then later, as it became indispensable, every model eventually dropped those caps, right? And said, you pay this, and you have all, you get it. You have it all.
Yeah.
And that's it. And IT service has gone the same way.
Yeah.
You can't live without it. You need it every month.
Yeah.
If you go down, it's too impactful.
Yes.
And so the time for break fix for most businesses is really, it ended a long time ago, and
Yeah.
a lot of people just didn't get the memo.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I think also there's different ways to do things. We get it. And really what we're saying today more than anything is decide where
Yeah.
you want to be, what you want to be, that kind of thing. I mean, another part of this discussion is that I feel is related to it is like value-added reseller. Do you want to be a VAR? Like I was with a massive MSP at one point. They were in different countries and stuff, and their whole procurement, it was just so messed up. And they were trying to be this VAR, and their margins were terrible, and it was very it didn't serve the customers very well, all this kind of stuff. And again, going back to what you and I've built and how we've done things, and we've had experiences outside of our own of working other organizations and stuff, but we were very focused on it's going to be world-class service delivery, based around IT service, around networks and all that kind of stuff, and the users and all these kind of things. The procurement piece of it is something that needs to be provided because the customers need it, but it shouldn't be the focus,
Right.
and it definitely shouldn't be. You should be very careful. You need to have that authority in the procurement area to have a thriving, successful MSP. And whether it's margins or anything else, try to be agnostic as you can,
Right.
in the procurement side to make the money in the service side.
Absolutely.
We were very careful with that, very successful with that. And so again, going back to the VAR thing, one thing I hear out there, and I feel like it's going back in time. I don't know how this happened, but I am kind of hearing out there, and I need to do a little bit more research, but of this idea of like maybe going back a little bit to time for money, and then also putting in products on there, security products or this product, and giving these customers like a 2 or 3 page invoice with all these different lines, mixing in a value-added reseller, time for money, all this kind of stuff. And again, going back to our platinum service, our gold, our bronze, all this kind of stuff. It's all very confusing to the customer. It doesn't build trust. And if you can make it simple to the customer and build trust, the money and the margins skyrocket, but at the same time, give this really good value to the customer.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody wins.
Everybody's happy.
But you got to look at it that way.
The things you're talking about are hidden break fix. And so
Yeah.
now that we've kind of identified the reasons why, if you want to be an MSP, you shouldn't do break fix, we should talk about the things that are less cut and dry than simply billing for time.
Yeah.
Right. So that's pretty cut and dry. If you're an
Yep.
MSP, but you have some customers that do not pay you regularly.
Yeah.
They only pay you when you show up.
Yep.
Right. That's break fix.
Yep.
It's a dead end.
Yep.
And if you want to be an MSP, you should eliminate that one way or the other.
Yep.
We can talk about some of those options.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But very commonly, like you just mentioned, I'm an MSP. Oh yeah, everybody pays me for a monthly service agreement. Oh, okay. And then you take care of all their stuff. Well, not all their stuff.
Yeah.
See, if you're on our bronze package, computer setups are $250.
Right.
And then if you call in and it's a training issue, that's not covered. Now, if you're on our silver package, then we will do all those things, but you don't get these products.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to be as secure.
Right.
And then only the people on our platinum package actually get what people actually want.
Right.
And the thing is, because I had these packages, they went, oh man, I guess I can get buy with the middle one.
Yeah.
Right. Like put together the product offering
Yeah.
that delivers what your
World-class service.
what your organization is built around.
Yeah.
Sell that product offering.
Yeah. And you know what? Friction. There's friction on all the other stuff other than that top tier package.
Yes.
Well, you're still going to have to manage issues, but there's friction in all the other stuff.
It's the same
and you got to get rid of the friction.
It's the same kind of friction that you get with break fix.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how the hidden break fix that you have in your MSP might be killing you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a really common one, and I loved running into this.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we get charged for computer setups,
Yeah.
and I loved hearing that.
Yeah.
Because man, we walk in with
Yeah.
our
Ooh, I've got a great story after
we don't
after
charge you
this.
for computer setups. Are
Yeah.
you kidding?
Yeah. And they were
That's
like,
crazy.
whoa. Remember
Yeah.
we'd say that to them? They'd be, oh,
Yeah.
ooh. They'd kind of sit up and they'd be like, tell me more.
Yes.
I think I'll like your service. Yeah.
What's your story about
Yeah.
that?
Oh, well, here's the thing. Again, our industry, sometimes I don't get it, you know? So you're going to penalize?
Right.
You're going to penalize the customer for growth?
Or for getting rid of old garbage computers that you don't
Yes.
want to support?
So what happens to you as an MSP if your customer grows? You make more money. Not just 1 month,
Perpetually.
perpetually.
Yeah.
You want to keep your customers growing. You want to keep their environment top notch to help them grow.
Yep.
So don't have friction in the way of that growth. In terms of either, you know, like you're talking about computer setups or trying to get rid of old equipment, make that stuff easy.
Yep.
You know, work those computer setups into the monthly that they're paying. They won't even think about it.
No.
And as they grow, it'll be a positive experience, not a negative. So here's my story.
Yeah.
So we won't name names. We won't. We will for vendors sometimes.
For vendors,
There's some
different
vendors
standard.
we do not like. But for other stuff, we won't name names. So story is customer grows, just really, really had a good uptick.
Yeah.
Hired 15 people. Really hadn't grown much for a couple years there.
Right.
Was getting
It's a big deal.
yeah. Again, this was a MSP I worked for, and so they were kind of used to what they were getting for those couple years, you know. Added these 15 people, $250 per computer setup.
Yeah.
And then there were some other things in there too. So what is that? I don't know. They got like a $4,500 or something like that invoice on top of their monthly. And it just threw that relationship right off the rails. Right off the rails.
Line item products can
Yep.
do that as well.
Yep.
When you have your service stack, but those are all a bunch of line items. That really stands out when you
Yep.
added those new users, and all of a
Yep.
sudden, like, oh man, I'm paying
Yeah.
for this and for this. And, for
And
this.
that customer, they lost him.
Did they?
Yeah,
Wow.
lost them. So here's the thing: 15 new users at $140 a user, maybe 200, maybe 300 in some
Markets, yeah.
in some markets. 15 new times that times 12 months times 24 months, they grow even more. Like that's where you win in our space.
Absolutely.
A quick $4,000.
Yep.
Nothing. It's not what you know. So
It reminds me, you brought up procurement, and procurement is another hidden thing where you're trying to act like a VAR instead of an MSP, and you look at a product sale and you say, "Man, that product sale, I'm gonna make my money off that product sale."
Yeah.
Right? And so
let's get it short term.
what happens? An MSP I was at had a customer, and that was their thing. That was their, oh yeah, we're gonna make money off these product sales. So, what happened over time is most of their customers, over half, would not buy computers from them.
Right.
And
right.
this is back when I worked as a technician, and
Yeah.
I'm the guy out there with a Best Buy computer
Yeah.
trying to upgrade
Yeah.
from Windows 7 Home.
Friction.
And everybody's unhappy. Why? Because the MSP is focused on milking things that have nothing to do with customer satisfaction.
Yeah. And the SMBs, they don't understand.
No.
They don't get it.
All they know is this computer cost almost twice as much as this one.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, you've got to explain, value and different things. But yeah, I mean, these are all the things. Get the friction out of your service delivery. And like we keep saying, like break fix or trading your time for money is not, is not something that's a long-term win, at least as we see it. So
if you're in that spot, how do you get out of it? Right. So
it's a great question.
A lot of MSPs are in that spot right now.
Yeah.
They have some customers who are break fix.
It's a great
question.
question.
Them to be right. And we actually talk with a lot of MSPs still.
Yep.
A surprising amount that are there.
Yeah. Well, you might not like the answer, or people might not like the answer. There's different ways. Maybe you might have a more creative way, but I'll just say you got to rip the Band-Aid in some things in life. Mm-hmm. I mean, frankly, we did that with a lot of different things. At one point in our MSP, we said, you know what? This getting tasks and correspondence from customers through email is terrible. Mm-hmm. It hurts us in a million different ways. What if we just don't allow them to email us? What if we make them either submit a ticket or call us?
Yep.
And what if we just said, that's happening today. Let's reach out to all the customers. Let's reach out to our point of contact. We'll do something fun. We'll make some shirts to go along with it, that kind of thing. Little campaign. But we're doing it today. Did it. One of the best things we ever did.
Yeah.
It was a huge game changer. And customers loved it. They saw the fruits of that good change. That's the thing. To be a leader and to do things like, sometimes the change or the thing you do is hard, and it's hard for everyone. But once you get through it, then everyone is appreciative. Everyone, oh man, thank you for that leadership moment of taking us to where we should be.
That reminds me of, we never sold break fix customers, but we got some customers who were break fix, right?
Yeah.
And it reminds me of a moment where you did that to get a customer, and you just said, they were really hesitant about, we've heard you're really good and we don't like the IT we're getting.
Yeah.
But, we don't want to pay every month. And you just said, well, you know what? How much have you spent in IT over the last year?
Yeah.
Let's look at that price. Yep. We're going to make that your price.
Yep.
So you're not paying anymore.
Nope.
Same thing you were paying. The only difference is now it's on us to make all your stuff better, because the only way we're going to make money is if you start using even less IT than that.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. Yep. So one way you can get out of it is every break fix customer you have, you go to them and you say, we're not doing break fix anymore.
Yep.
We want to take good care of you.
Yep.
Doing break fix keeps us from taking good care of you.
Yep.
So here's the new agreement.
Yeah.
You're going to pay this much.
Yep.
It's no more than you've been paying, right?
Yep.
On average.
Yep.
And that's it. And we're going to now you call as much as you want.
Yeah.
And that sounds insane, right? It sounds like, well, they're going to abuse it. They're going to call 3 times as much. But that's you as an MSP taking ownership.
Yeah.
And then it's on you to make sure they don't have a bunch of reasons to call.
Yeah.
To actually permanently fix those things.
Right.
And that will work for some of your customers, maybe not some others. But we did similar things with some of our customers who did not want to give us full responsibility for their entire IT infrastructure right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And over time, their spend doubled or tripled.
Yeah.
Because they said, you know what? Wow, you're right. That's so much better.
Yeah.
Now do my phones.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta build that trust. You have to, and that's a good starting point. And then again, you just have to do it too.
You do have to do it.
With some customers, you're just going to have to say, hey, this is my service. It's better for you. It's better for me. This is my service. You're just going to have to. And also too, think about this. All the customers you're working with and on and for, all that time, every day, weeks, months, everything, that are, by the hour, break fix, that kind of, they're keeping you away from finding those customers that will pay you every month.
Well, you're exactly right. If you have any break fix in your organization, without a doubt, long-term, it's hindering your ability
Yes.
to make more money and make somebody else happier.
Yeah.
I mean, we had these conversations, hard conversations about certain customers we had
Yep.
that would not want to do the things that they needed to do for their IT environment to be, to run well.
Yeah.
Examples like, no, we're not going to give up this old system that has
Yeah.
no support and you guys can't, help us with it. And we had to, over time, we had to drop some of those customers.
Yeah.
But we were able to get new customers who
Yeah.
were thrilled that we were available to help them.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the same, you're spending the same time every
Yeah.
day. Spend it on things that will scale and make more money, not things that can never scale because
Yeah.
it's dollars for minutes.
Yeah. And, your organization is going to run cleaner and better. Your processes are going to be more uniform, all that kind of stuff. I remember very early on talking to another owner.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say MSP owner, but it was break fix. So,
Yeah.
but he was an owner, and he had like 300 and some odd customers. So it's like, wow, but in my mind, I was thinking, well, I know what we're doing with our number. I'm like, wow. But then talking to him more, I find out it's all break fix or, by the hour customers. So, I mean, he could have customers that don't even use the services in 6 months or 8 months or a year.
Yeah.
So this number of customer or number of endpoints is an illusion.
Yep.
Compared to like dollars and stuff like that is like, it's not consistent, So all these type of things,
And how are you going to know how to take care of 300 different businesses?
Yeah.
When I remember, I think I know who you're talking about, and
Yeah.
the scale of the organization for as far as employees and everything,
Yeah.
it was hardly bigger than ours.
Yes.
At a drastically lower customer number.
Yeah.
So you're going to go out there 8 months since the last time you've seen them. Everything's on fire.
Yeah.
And you have no incentive to
Nope.
document it. And it's
Nope.
just a constant nightmare.
Yeah. And by the way, that company ended up spiraling downward.
Yep.
I think they got picked up by another MSP, but it's, and they don't have, they have a bad name in
Right.
the market. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think all these things we've talked about just really help you to build a business, and build something that can be lasting for you and your family and employees, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, build an asset.
Yeah. When you mention that, it's kind of the last thing about break fix that's horrible. It is horrible for the employees of your IT company.
Absolutely.
We have, worked with and hired many IT people over the years. Yep. And I know one engineer we hired, he was so happy to get out of the break fix rat race, and such a great guy. Mm-hmm. He's a calm, mellow guy. Mm-hmm. Customers love him. Just an old hat in the IT game. And he'd worked for many years in break fix. Mm-hmm. And I just remember the change that came over him after we hired him, and he worked for a couple months.
Yes.
His blood pressure went down.
Yes.
Right? He's like, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do IT this way.
Yeah.
I'm used to going into work and putting out fires until I'm allowed to go home. Right?
Yeah.
That was his life.
Yeah. And saying no.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything has this like line item price ticket and everything and all this. And and he's like, I remember him saying as well, like, it's just so nice just taking care of customers.
That's what you're hired for.
So that their environment's, golden.
Yeah.
So,
and all the worries people have if you are running a business that makes a significant amount of money, trading time for dollars.
Yeah.
There's all these worries that, people are going to overutilize the service. You hear that.
Yeah.
Or,
Never
they're not going to pay enough
Yeah.
to justify giving them all you can eat or whatever. And it all hashes out.
It does.
And, I can count on one finger the number of customers that we actually had to go back and say, hey, you're way off from our normal agreement.
Yeah,
you guys,
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And in that case, it was just stuff that was, we could have caught. We learned how to catch that going forward. And, it worked out in the end.
Yeah.
So those things should not keep you from moving to something that is positive in every other way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think this is good. I think we've covered this one pretty good. So
Yeah.
Another episode of MSP Kingdom, and we're in one of the noblest professions out there. We would say, keep slaying those dragons of complexity, and I love the industry. I love the work we do. It's just very, it's so important and really helps so many people and businesses, and we're part of them reaching these amazing goals.
Yep, and it doesn't have to be chaos. I hope
Nope.
we can keep bringing up things that help people make a fantastic place to work, give
Yeah.
great service, and just love doing it.
Yeah, shake and bake.
All right.